We are gathered
Probably
here.
that occurred on the beach except
What
some
is your
loud
purpose?
firework tag sound or a gunshot to have been
Worship is
heard.
an attitude.
Police attempted to retrace
Which
Janet's steps
attitude
on the
have you
day
come
of her
with in
murder.
his presence?
According to her two girlfriends, Janet spent time in the
Psalms
afternoon with the hotel's
995.
bartender, Reed
We are
Powell,
called to
and they
exalt
immediately hit it
our
off.
God.
They were talking to each other.
worship him, for
Janet
he
was
is
flirting
holy.
a little bit, I
In the
think,
same
with Reed.
chapter,
He was
verse
quiet
3,
and he
it's
was shy,
repeated.
which
He
was
is holy.
probably
Praise
very
God.
attractive to Janet.
Holiness is not
Later
a
that
character
evening,
of
Janet
God,
and her friends ran
but
into
it is
Reed
nature.
at the
Praise
Portico
God.
Bar. Reed
Just
was there with his
lift
girlfriend,
your
but he had gotten
hands.
into a fight.
While
And
Reed was at
just
the
call
protocol,
upon the
he
name of this
saw his
holy God.
girlfriend dancing with another gentleman
Focus on his
and
holiness as
got a
his
little bit
nature
upset
and
about
not his
that.
character.
And there was a slight
God
altercation
is holy.
as a result.
Tell him that this
When
afternoon
Janet's friends went back
you
to
want
the
to
hotel,
worship with
Janet
understanding
stayed behind
of
to
his
talk to
nature
Reed.
and his authority. Raise your hands and tell God, I am here,
They
Lord,
left the
that I
bar
may
at closing
worship
time around 2
you.
a.m.
Like, Lord, I may
So,
join with the seraphims
stated
and
that he was gonna take a
cherubims
cab.
just to
And at that
decree
point,
your
Janet told him
holiness.
it was best as
Lord,
now
find
she
me
was
one
alive, since
to
she
be
was
in your
going right to his
presence,
house
oh God.
to go back to the hotel.
Jehovah, Lord, help me
When questioned,
to be with
Reed
the
Powell
right
told police that
attitude
after
of
Janet dropped
worship.
him off at home,
Oh,
he got
just
the
call
keys to
upon
his
the name
car
of the Lord
and
this
went looking for his
afternoon.
girlfriend to
Oh,
patch things
mwite
up.
Mungu.
His girlfriend was
Mweye ni
employee in the
mtakatifu.
apartment stairs.
Oh, worship him.
The
The call
Carolinian
to
was also
exalt
where
his
Janet
name is
Siclari
the
was
central
staying.
point, is his
Reed
nature and
drove to the
authority.
hotel.
Ah, Mungu wewe ni
While
mtakatifu.
waiting there
Mtakatifu,
for his
mtakatifu,
girlfriend,
mtakatifu ni
he
wewe.
observed
Oh,
Janet
usinyamaze
arrive at the
tena,
hotel,
fungua
go
kinywa
inside.
chako na ukamwambia ya
Reed
kwamba
said
yeye
he
ni
didn't speak with
mtakatifu.
Janet at the time.
Oh God, you are
Eventually saw his
holy.
girlfriend when she
Mtakatifu,
returned to the
mtakatifu,
hotel.
mtakatifu ni wewe. Oh, our God is holy. Oh, what is it that you have held so tight that it is distracting you?
When police asked Reed what he was doing while waiting for his girlfriend, he made a shocking revelation.
He had gotten hungry and carried with him a steak knife and a stick of pepperoni and sat in the car as he was waiting for his girlfriend to return.
This was a valuable piece of information and possibly incriminating. Janet had been stabbed to death on the beach that night, but police didn't
we
release
bless you,
this
Jesus.
information to the public.
We give you praise.
Reed Powell admitted
give
he
you
was
glory.
sitting just 100 yards
We thank
away
you. You are a
from where
faithful
Janet
God.
was murdered with a knife
You are
in
a
his hand.
faithful God. We thank you.
Now was a very
Thank you.
prime suspect
Thank you.
in the investigation.
Oh, we give you praise. We give you
They
glory.
had had interactions that day indicating something more than just a friendship or just an acquaintance type relationship. So all of this was very much a concern of ours and us to look at him very
What is your
closely.
purpose? Worship is an attitude.
Hey guys,
Which
how we doing?
attitude have you come with in his
You ready?
presence?
Hey, Adams Elementary.
Psalms
Rams.
995.
I think he needs
We are
one too.
called to
What do you
exalt
think?
our
All
God.
right, you guys ready to fight some
Worship
crime?
him, for he is holy.
Okay, well you go get him, all
In the
right?
same
Walgreens,
chapter,
every
verse
vaccine is
3,
where health
it's
meets care.
repeated.
That's
He
the
is
human
holy.
kind of
Praise
health.
God.
Walk in or schedule your free flu
Holiness
shot today.
It's
Walgreens.
not a character of
The
God,
loaded Italian has
but it's
classic
his
flavors
nature.
with an
Praise
Arby's
God.
flair.
Just
It's more
lift
American Italian than
your
Italian,
hands
just like the Pope.
and just
And people
call
line
upon
up
the
to
name
see
of
him.
this holy God.
Arby's, we have the
Focus on
meat.
his holiness as his
He does know
nature
he's
and
in
not his
public.
character.
He doesn't care. When a young
God is
homeowner starts to turn
holy.
into their parent, it helps to show
Tell
them
him that
just
this
how bad it can
afternoon
get.
you
they
want
just
to
hang out
worship with
here.
understanding of his nature and his authority. Raise your hands and tell God, I am here, Lord, that I may worship you. Like, Lord, I may join with the seraphims and cherubims just to decree your holiness. Lord, find me one to be in your presence, oh God. Jehovah, Lord, help me to be with the right attitude of worship. Oh, just call upon the name of the Lord this afternoon. Oh, mwite Mungu. Yeye ni mtakatifu. Oh, worship him. The call to exalt his name is the central point. Is his nature and authority. Mungu wewe ni mtakatifu. Mtakatifu, mtakatifu, mtakatifu ni wewe. Oh, usinyamaze tena, fungua kinywa chako na ukamwambia ya kwamba yeye ni mtakatifu. Oh God, you are holy. Mtakatifu, mtakatifu, mtakatifu ni wewe. Oh, our God is holy. Oh, what is it that you have held so tight that it is distracting you from focusing on the holiness of God? The book of Isaiah 6, it tells us that when King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord. What it is that you held on to, ambayo imefanya you do not focus on the holiness of God. And when Isaiah focused and focused on the holiness of God, he saw a vision of the seraphims as they decree that holy, holy, holy is your name. Mtakatifu, mtakatifu ni wewe. Kinywa chako kisizime ya kusema ya kwamba wewe ni mtakatifu. Raise a voice of worship and decree that God is holy. Mtakatifu, mtakatifu ni wewe. We refuse to stand with the anointing of yesterday. Lord, we need fresh anointing. We need to focus on your nature, the nature of holiness, the nature of holiness, oh God. We did not come here this afternoon, Lord, as Jehovah King in glory na ukawaida.
We thought, we were worried that we were losing witnesses.
Approximately 80,000 people evacuated the area, but the prime suspect, Reed Powell, stayed in town.
There was only one person that we thought could be a suspect, and that was Reed. He was the only person that we had talked to extensively that week and allowed into our little circle.
Police searched Reed's home and confiscated several steak knives.
The steak knives were submitted to the laboratory to look for the presence of blood on them. However, none of them demonstrated any indications for the presence of blood.
Investigators also took a sample of Reed's DNA. At the time, in 1993, DNA testing wasn't as advanced as it is today. The method at the time was to compare the length and patterns of autorads, which look very much like barcode.
We compared the DNA profile from it to the DNA profile from the vaginal swabs, and it was very easy to determine that it was not a match.
I think we were all somewhat surprised that this was not a match.
Police discovered there were 10 other men who were either in the vicinity of the murder or had some contact with Janet the week of her vacation. All were asked to provide a DNA sample.
I examined them and their DNA standards and compared them to the DNA profile obtained from the sperm cells. Every single one of them was eliminated in this case.
It began to look like the perpetrator had already left the area, either because his vacation was over or because of the mandatory evacuation.
At that point in my career, I'd never had a case of this significance that we were not able to solve. So it was extremely frustrating and extremely heartbreaking.
Months stretched into years, and the case turned cold.
Of course, there's a lot of frustration when you're trying to deal with something like this. You're thinking that the more time goes on, the more that they'll never find the person. And you just sort of try to live with it and say that, you know, you pray someday it'll happen, but you're thinking after 5 years it's not going to happen.
But during that period of time, the FBI developed a way for every state to access the DNA profiles collected in other states. At the time, not every state collected DNA samples from convicted felons. But for the majority that did, this new system was a godsend, and they called the database CODIS, or Combined DNA Indexing System. So, in 1997, almost 5 years after Janet Siclari's murder, North Carolina officials entered the killer's DNA profile into the CODIS system. And they got a match. Amazingly, it matched someone living just an hour away in the same state of North Carolina.
This was our first, what we call first cold hit of a unsolved murder-homicide, no suspect, and this was the first cold hit the state had ever had.
The DNA matched 32-year-old Thomas Jabin Berry, a commercial fisherman and convicted sex offender. One of those convictions was for an assault on a 12-year-old girl. Berry claims he was innocent of that charge.
She wasn't 12, she was 14. I got the paperwork in there, but or she was 13 going on 14 or something like that. But no, it was all consensual.
She was